Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 20th November, 2024. Come to the Crusty podcast, episode 317. Randy retreats. That's right. Big news today here in Canada. Randy Boissonnault, employment minister, gay parade extraordinaire, half Indigenous, half white, or is he, or who knows? Anyhow, the guy's retiring. He's resigning. Oh my. Does that mean good things to the rest of the Liberal cabinet? They might resign too. Who knows? All that more come on the podcast. Please stick around. Listener and viewer discretion will be advised because I will swear, say some naughty words, make fun of Randy Boissonnault and the rest of the Liberal government, and just maybe smoke a cigarette or two. See you in a bit.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthy.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 317, the Crusty Canuck podcast. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. And if you like and hear what you see, please click like, subscribe, share this content on all your social media platforms. Double check your notifications on the tube to make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube's getting a little funny with people that want to speak the truth. And this podcast is also brought to you in part by and supported by Veterans for Freedom Network. That's right. Stand to Veterans for Freedom. And coming soon, Veterans for Freedom TV. Pay attention to that on my community page and Facebook page for updates. So, in news today, ladies and gentlemen, Randy Boissonnault, Mr. Employment Minister, Mr. Gay Extraordinaire, Mr. Indigenous, Mr. Non-Indigenous. Which is it? There's two Randys involved in the scandal that he's in right now with a private company that he was with or part of. Anyhow, long story short, he was given a choice today in the news to either resign or to be fired. And I guess you can say, in the liberal sense of our politics today, get out and try to save face, or we'll fire you and make fun of your face. That's how the liberals roll, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say about that. And I'll make a long story short. Trudeau is so desperate to promote climate change and to make sure that it's the number one priority, and yet his cabinet is falling apart as we speak. Oh my God, is it brilliant? It certainly is. It certainly is, ladies and gentlemen. And it's good. Now, when I looked at the Liberal cabinet and who was selected for key roles and for positions of power and grandeur and our finances, I can honestly see that every clown that sits in the Liberal Party right now is not qualified to do his or her job. Now, it has nothing to do with race, nothing to do with gender or identity or sexuality or expression or whatever abbreviation they want to come up with. It has to do with meritocracy. That's how things work, ladies and gentlemen. I have talked with teenage kids. I've talked with college kids. I've talked with university kids who hate the word merit. Now, when I look at Randy's background, I don't care what businesses he has run. I don't care what he's done prior to being elected. The man failed. He failed to tell the truth. He failed with ethics, right? He just failed to begin with. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care how you identify. You're an adult. He didn't act like it, and he got caught. It's that simple, right? How else do you look at it? Now, there's an article here from the National Post that has followed Randy on his endeavors. And I don't know. I'm going to read some of it here, and I'll leave it in my description for you, ladies and gentlemen, but you guys decide. This is Randy talking about, stepping down after his time in cabinet. So this is from the National Post from 6 hours ago by Catherine Levesque. So Randy Boissonnault stepping down from cabinet after shifting claims on Indigenous heritage. So here's a guy who said he was, I believe, Cree. And then he said he was adopted by somebody who is Cree. But people have found out that he's not. So in Ottawa, Employment Minister Randy Boissonnault was stepping down from cabinet after revelations from the National Post that he had made shifting statements over his ties to Indigenous heritage over the course of his political career. A note sent by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's office on Wednesday specified that Trudeau and Boissonnault both came to an agreement that the minister will be stepping away from his ministerial duties effectively immediately to focus on clearing the allegations made against him. So obviously something's up. If he was an honest man, which is kind of hard to find in politics, but needless to say, if he was a man of honor, owned his shit, he would have nothing to hide and he'd stand his ground firmly and defend himself properly. So there's some poop in the pudding. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Veterans Affairs Minister Jeanette Pepitas Taylor will temporarily assume responsibility for Boissonnault's portfolios of employment and official languages in addition to her current duties as Minister of Veterans Affairs and Associate Minister of National Defense. Read the note. So here's this lady with 3 jobs, yet our Minister of Veterans Affairs, she's done a terrible job. And do you think she's going to do any great for Bill Blair and his cabinet for veterans, or correction, for national defense? Holy fuck, some people's kids. Anyway, Boissonnault has referred to himself as a non-status adopted Cree, whatever the hell that means, and claimed that his great-grandmother was a full-blooded Cree woman. In the past, those claims are untrue. He has since clarified that his great-grandmother's family, in fact, had Métis lineage. He apologized last week for not having been clear about his family's links to Indigenous ancestry and that he was learning about his family's heritage in real time. So I guess someone's telling him the truth or not. He's figuring it out later. Maybe he's Jewish. Who knows? Not that it matters. I'll just continue reading here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my God. Boissonnault has also been under fire for co-owning a company that claimed to be Indigenous-owned while bidding on federal contracts, although he said that claim was made without his knowledge and that the company did not successfully qualify as an Indigenous supplier. In a statement, the Assemblies of First Nations said it was deeply troubled by the allegations regarding Boissonnault's former company's attempt to bid on contracts reserved for Indigenous businesses and said it was a teachable moment. You're bloody well right it is. AFN National Chief Cindy Woodhouse Nepanak said the Liberal government took necessary steps to correct this matter, adding that those who misrepresent Indigenous status should face the consequences. Right? Misrepresentation harms the integrity of the Indigenous identity and is disrespectful to the experience of the First Nations people who face systematic barriers tied to their identities. It also undermines the progress that we have worked so hard to achieve, she said. Métis NDP MP Blake Desjardins, who called for Boissonnault's resignation from cabinet, said, "This is welcome news for Indigenous people right across the country." Desjardins, who represents the Edmonton riding near Boissonnault, said there were growing suspicions in his community about shifting claims that now the former minister had made about his ties to Indigenous ancestry for nearly a decade. Anyhow, I will leave this article there, ladies and gentlemen, for you wonderful people to read at your own leisure and decide for yourself. There's lots of footage out there with Randy making all these claims. You know, sorry, I just can't help it. He was such a nice fellow. No, he wasn't. He was as corrupt as the rest of the Liberal cabinet. He doesn't deserve my respect as far as I'm concerned. And it is actually, it's actually foreshadowing things to come. Now, his riding of Edmonton Center, I actually remember in 2019, I was doing some security training in that area. And I was watching part of the debate he was having with the NDP and the PC candidates. And he lost that debate. Like they were all over him like a fat kid on a Kit Kat. Okay. So what gets me is how was he elected? So to the people out there of Edmonton Center, I guess you're going to have to make some better decisions this coming by-election and actually vote for a politician that's going to use his or her backbone to get things done and to put proper money back in your pockets rather than ripping you off and lying to you about one's heritage. Right? So it's time we start doing the math, Liberal voters. Wake the fuck up.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for sticking around so far. If you like to hear what you see, please click like, subscribe, share this content on your social media platforms. Do not be shy and check out my links in the description for donations. Please consider donating if you can. If you use the Buy Me a Coffee app, there is perks there for you all to check out. So please consider donating too. There's other applications there in my description to donate at your leisure. Don't be shy. Every little bit helps. I put a lot of work into these podcasts as best as I can to formulate everything on the go here. and for you, my wonderful people. And please consider donating today. Anyway, carry on. So Randy's in trouble. Who's next? Right? As my title card says there, right? He's going to probably come back to Edmonton, hang his head in shame. And what's going to be next? Who else is going to step down? Who else is going to be discovered? Who else might do something stupid? Right? We've seen the misappropriation of funds that have gone down with the SDTC issue, the green slush fund. How many other funds have gone out for the Arrive scam app? And how many other funds have lined the pockets of liberal insiders? Right? Something to think about, right? So who knows exactly what's in the works? But my best guess is that things are starting to crumble for a very good reason. We're going to find these clowns being put on the spot and being told what they can't do and what they cannot do. And of course, the CBC's having a heyday by making Mr. Poilievre look like a clown, right? And especially why a lot of these individuals are going on the warpath about freedom of expression and free speech and all this. And I think the whole Boissonnault thing is either just a scapegoat or it's just getting people to pay attention to what's happening in the world. There's other issues that are going on here too. I'm going to play another video here, a banter back and forth with Poilievre and our beloved Prime Minister, Sock Boy, Potato Boy, Justin Trudeau, and his beautiful hair. I'll just cue this up here, but I think you know what I mean when it comes to the whole issue of the political bantering and the BS that's been presented to us on a daily issue here, or on a daily level here. So I'll put the captions up there too for people who can't hear it. But pay attention closely to what Justin says. It's a 5-minute video. So, be patient, ladies and gentlemen, but listen carefully to what he is saying. And just look at the contradictions and the issues that he has promoted in the name of fairness and all this other crap. He's just not as genuine as he says, right? Remember how he used to say sunny ways? Well, it's becoming rainy days right now. Rainy days in the Liberal caucus. And it's becoming a real joke. So please consider this and submit it for your approval, ladies and gentlemen. And you decide. The more and more us individuals decide how to do things, the more and more the government's going to lay off and leave us stuff alone, right? So like I said, gentlemen, you guys decide, right?
This Prime Minister in 9 years doubled housing costs, doubled the debt, doubled gun crime, doubled food bank use, and up until a minute ago, he had a minister with a double identity. The Prime Minister knew the minister was directing his business illegally from inside cabinet. He knew the minister had claimed there was another Randy when there was no other Randy. He knew that the minister had falsely claimed to be Indigenous in order to take money away from real Indigenous people, and yet he stood by him up until yesterday. Why is it that he always stands up for corruption on his own side?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, the member for Edmonton Centre has stepped down from cabinet to focus on clearing these allegations. Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition talks about the importance of speaking up. The reality is his MPs are no longer voices for the...
Oh, a little pause there. I don't know what the issue is, ladies and gentlemen. What the problem is here. Oh, well. What I will do, ladies and gentlemen, I will include this video into... Okay, just never mind for that for now. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, a little technical blurb there. Anyhow, I will include that video in the description. Basically, it's just the banter back and forth, Justin talking about how Pierre has stifled his cabinet members, and yet we all know who has stifled who in the past, 3 or 4 years, especially prior to the pandemic. So when you see this contrast and you see how they're going back and forth, and listen to how they go back and forth, you can see that the Liberals are starting to dwindle down, right? And they're not really making an effort to save any kind of face other than just deny. It's like a really bad soap opera, but it's quite funny, quite humorous too. And for one, I'm just so fed up with it. But I'm seeing light at the end of this darkness here, ladies and gentlemen. We can go on all day about how these individuals have done these wonderful things in the name of democracy, in the name of progress, and we've all heard Justin talk about how 8 out of 10 Canadians are doing so much better because of this tax, and yet there's 2 million people going to food banks. And they talk about pulling all these kids out of poverty, and yet a third of those 2 million people are children. So I don't buy the math. But I think this Randy Boissonnault thing is just the beginning. Okay, it's just the beginning. And I think there's going to be some real issues coming down the road. And it's good. It's really good. I think it's going to be good because it's going to help us Canucks focus on better things. It's going to help us Canucks stick around, or stick around and actually show some enthusiasm for this country, because there's a lot of people that are getting fed up living here, people that have spent a long time working and saving, and they can't save anymore because they got to pay more bills, pay extra rent, pay higher mortgage rates, spend more at the gas pumps, more at the grocery stores. And it's just being, it's not being genuine. And in a way, when someone comes to Canada for a better life and they try to build a better life and they can't do it, and they might have a better chance doing it in the States or elsewhere, can you really blame a lot of those individuals? No, you can't. So when it comes down to it, I think the liberal machine is starting to rust and crack at the seams, which I think is a good thing. If not, then it's going to blow up real good.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back, ladies and gentlemen. If you like and hear to see, please click like, subscribe, share this content on your social media platforms. And as a reminder, again, if you've stuck around this far in the show, please double check your subscription on the YouTube just to make sure you're still subscribed. Check that little bell there. Make sure you get notified every time a new episode comes up. You can also find the podcast on Rumble, Player FM, Podchaser, Apple, all other podcast ventures if you can. If not, just keep me here on Podbean. Check me out there too. And a special thank you to my new American listeners. You guys are awesome. Getting a few more from California and Indiana and Delaware and Rhode Island. Well done. And for the record, I'm not interested in a fly-by-night service that wants to sell me views and sell me subscriptions, because we all know it's bots and fake accounts and fake networks. So those who want to sell me something, bugger off. I got better things to do. Anyhow, I digress. Carry on here with more of the Randy Boissonnault. Now, I wonder how many other individuals in the cabinet are going to throw in the towel or, quote-unquote, resign or get fired. Now, if it was up to me, I'd fire them all and have an election tomorrow or next week, or to be sensible, have one right after Christmas too. I don't care how cold it is out, because I'm sure Canadians are fed up with these clowns enough that we'll go out through a typhoon to vote for the next prime minister based on the buffoonery that's been instilled on us since 2015. Anyhow, but that sums up, ladies and gentlemen. I am not going to dwell on this. This is just, this is funny. This is positive. The positive out of this is that things are starting to crumble, and there is light coming through this manufactured darkness, right? So let's hope for the best. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to hit the airwaves tomorrow. Maybe another MP might be caught with his or her pants down with their finger in a socket. Who knows? But let's hope for the best and try to see the light. Special thanks out there to Learn Perspective. They've done some great videos on this. My buddy Paul at Radio Reaction, he's done some great things on this. Check out his channel. I'll leave links to their work in the description there. Moose and the Loose, they're doing some great work. He's done some great work. Clyde Do Something, he's doing some great work. If you want to check out my Twitter feed too, I put stuff on my Twitter, or my what was formerly known as Twitter, now is X. So you can check me out there as well. So, and don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen. Please send me some emails. If you want to contact me, I put my contact information there in the podcast as well. want to send me some swagger, hopefully the postal strike will end. But if you want to mail me something, by all means, I don't mind. Free stuff is always fun. Or a letter or a kind word or two, by all means, don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen. 'Tis the season, right? It's coming. And like I said, Christmas is coming. So, watch your pennies. Don't overspend on things, but do what you can for your loved ones. Help each other out in these trying times. Don't be shy. If you see someone struggling, don't hesitate to give them a hand. If someone needs to talk, then listen. There's a lot of individuals out there that I know personally who have been hurting the past few years, and they're just coming to the conclusion now they're going to talk about it. And there's a few people that talk to me on a regular basis, and I try to help them to the best of my ability. And there's nothing wrong with you doing the same thing. And hey, if you want to talk, reach out to somebody. Or hey, try to reach out to me, and I'll see what I can do for you. It's that simple. Anyway, I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 20th of November, 2024. And the song I will add to this episode, I was thinking about Gordon Lightfoot today for some reason. So I'm going to add, I was going to put the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, but we've heard that enough. But I'm going to put his classic on there, Sundown. Just a good old-fashioned Canadian tune, ladies and gentlemen. So please enjoy at your leisure. But like I said, I've been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 20th of November, 2024. I wish good things for you all. Do what you can in these trying times. Don't be shy to ask for help, and don't be shy to give any help, too. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthy.
This has been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Mama thinks I'm pretty. Bye, folks. Have a great evening. Ta-ta.